Welcome to Gamereactor TV. We're here in Paris to look at all the latest titles from Ubisoft. Check it out.
General, we cannot let the Russians secure Paris or the rest of Europe will fall. Destroy those Russian positions at any cost. Is that clear?
Affirmative.
Tom Clancys EndWar. Can you tell us how you came up with the idea for this new game?
Actually, the idea came from the wish to expand the Tom Clancy franchise. So we have Splinter Cell, we have Ghost Recon, and we have Rainbow Six. And we wanted to do something new. The logic behind it was to do something that would maybe tie all of those threads together. Our creative director for the whole company has a passion for strategy games, but was convinced that PC strategy games had more or less run their course. They'd been doing the same thing for 10, 15, 20 years. So he wanted us to explore how we could do a strategy game on console. That's how the idea was born.
So how do you do it?
There are a lot of challenges. I'm not hiding the fact that there are a lot of challenges. But when you think about games today, even shooters are becoming much more strategic and tactical. So you look at Rainbow Six, you look at Gears of War, you look at Ghost Recon, and they're incorporating strategic elements all the time. So if you rethink what strategy is and what strategy brings to a gamer, you can find new ways of doing it. There are two really big things that we did that changed the mindset of how you play strategy on a console. First thing is we took the camera down. Traditionally, even on console ports of PC strategy games, you have a top-down camera. Now, this top-down camera doesn't help you to feel the battle. So it's really difficult with that type of camera view to be able to control on console. A joypad is not a substitute for a keyboard or a mouse. So first thing we did was drop the camera down to a battlefield position, right next to your troops, right next to your helicopters, for example. When you think about it, it's no different than the shift between, let's say, Neverwinter Nights on PC and a Knights of the Old Republic game on Xbox. BioWare did this very, very well, and they're specialists of RPGs. What we're doing is exactly the same thing. The second thing that we did was think about how we could change the controls. For a start, when you drop the camera down, when you're controlling it, it becomes much, much easier. The second thing that we did was add voice command for all the actions in the game. So you can actually be an armchair commander.
How many voice commands and how complex is the voice command system?
It's actually quite complex. I know that we've got a library, a massive library that's going to be activated in English, French, German, Italian, Spanish, for the very minimum.
Not Swedish or Danish?
It's not currently planned. I've got to say it's not currently planned.
So are you doing testing with like people who don't speak English as well?
Well, you know, this is a French company, and one of our stage gates is presenting it to the worldwide creative director, and he has a French accent. So when he does the commands, we're all very nervous because his French accent is quite heavy. But if he gets it right, I think everybody could get it right. The context for the game happens in 2020, and it's set up in a pure Clancy storyline. The idea is that we have the militarization of space. Now, the militarization of space is meant to bring a new era of peace because it stops any long-range nuclear weapons. You know, the Star Wars program that was very popular in the 1980s with Reagan. Well, that's pushed a little bit further. Now, that is the first step. The second step is that people realize that oil reserves have run out, and Russia has the largest oil reserves. So they start becoming paranoid about their wealth. They start spending more money on the military and getting stronger and stronger. When people look at the militarization of space, they get worried too. So what that sets up is the setting for massive land battles. It's not a real situation where you could have a nuke descend on Paris. No, this is land battles, maybe a return to an old style of war. So this is something that's taken from today's headlines. This is something that's entirely plausible.
So what kind of advances have been made in like weapons and armory and stuff like that?
It's actually very funny. Have you seen the Brothers in Arms presentation? They have a military advisor who writes books as well. And when he saw the trailer, he recognized all the weapons that we have in the game. They're all being researched at the moment. And it could be from microwave sonic weapons that cook literally cook people and make them feel uncomfortable, make them feel like they're on fire, to drones that disable helicopters and things like that. So you can see these types of weapons in the game. So being in 2020, it allows us the liberty to have really, really cool weapons too. One of the most exciting things and most ambitious things about this game is that we have two multiplayer modes. One classic one, which is the skirmish, which, you know, it's you want a 20-minute fight with one of your friends, bam, you do it. The second mode is our online persistent world war, where every day the front lines are going to be reset according to the thousands of games that have been played. You also have a persistent character, a persistent unit that you can customize, design, and customize in terms of functionality, which is the different weapons, weapon upgrades. I think you have about 400 or 500 different weapon upgrades in the game.
When will we see EndWar in the shops, and will you release a demo?
We're thinking about a demo, but we're mostly thinking about a beta test, which I think is very important to get everything balanced perfectly right before the release. So the release of the game on next generation consoles is going to be in February next year.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, guys.